If you are looking to build a new gaming PC and you want the RTX 4070 Super as your graphics card, because the RTX 4070 Super is one of the best GPUs out there to play at 1440p resolution on high to ultra settings, this is going to be the perfect video for you, because I will show you the best rise to performance gaming PC that has an RTX 4070 Super and will allow you to play any game that you want at 1080p, 1440p and 4K without bottlenecking your RTX 4070 Super. I'll also show you the level of performance that you can get, and I'll show you different alternatives with different deals in case you want this PC to be a bit cheaper. My name is Valentino and the links to this gaming PC will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. So first I'll start talking about the CPU, which is the AMD Ryzen 5 7600. This CPU is amazing for the RTX 4070 Super. It will not bottleneck it, and you can upgrade this CPU down the line if you want, because we are on the AM5 platform, which means that if you want to upgrade to a faster CPU from AMD in the next few years, you can upgrade it without having to swap your entire motherboard. So it's going to be less stressful for you, and also it's going to be cheaper. Now this Ryzen 5 is able to achieve 240 plus FPS on average at 1440p in games like Valorant, Fortnite or CS2, potentially 360 plus FPS depending on the game and the exact settings. So if you want to buy a 1440p 240Hz monitor or even a 360Hz one, feel free to do so, since this system is quite powerful. And of course, if you want to play at 1080p, you will be achieving even higher frame rates. You can either stick with the stock cooler from AMD, which is completely fine and it's free, or you can buy this Thermal Ride Assassin, which is only 18 bucks and it's going to give you a better aesthetic look, and also the temps are going to be lower. And then I was just talking about the motherboard. This one is the ASRock B650M Pro RS. This one is one of the best budget motherboards from the AM5 platform, really good in terms of price to performance, and will allow you to upgrade to faster X3D CPUs in the future in case you want the best of the best from AMD. And right now, if you go with the Ryzen 7 7800X3D instead, which is a faster and more expensive CPU, this motherboard will be able to handle that CPU. So if you have more money to spend, you can feel free to go ahead and buy a faster CPU if you play esports games. If you play high demanding games, well, the RTX 4070 Super, as you know, is one of the best graphics cards in the market in terms of value, and at 1440p resolution in one of the latest tests from TechSpot, which is a very high demanding test, the 4070 Super was able to average around 108 FPS. 80 plus FPS on average in this type of games is definitely enough, let alone 100 plus FPS. You will be achieving a very smooth gaming performance, and in the most high demanding games, you can also turn on DLSS if you want higher frame rates. The 4070 Super is also very nice when it comes to ray tracing performance, depending on the game and depending on the exact settings. But if you want to turn on ray tracing, well, the 4070 Super is a nice gaming GPU as well. And then if you want to play at 1080p, then you can expect 140 plus FPS on average, and I'm talking about high demanding titles here. Of course, if you want to play esports shooters, you can expect 360 plus FPS at 1080p, but 140 plus FPS in high demanding titles, in my opinion, is an overkill, and I do recommend you this system more for 1440p resolution. And if you want to upgrade to 4K, or if you have a 4K monitor, well, you can expect 60 plus FPS on average when it comes to 4K resolution, high to ultra settings, and this is native. So if you want to play at 4K, I do recommend you turning on DLSS, and in that case you will be achieving anywhere between 70 to 90 plus FPS on average with DLSS on, depending on the game and depending on the settings, which is once again very smooth performance, especially considering the price for this system, which I will talk about in a second. But before talking about the price, I want to say that this PC is also very capable of streaming, because you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, 6000 MHz CL30 timings, which is the fastest kit in my opinion in the market, which is the sweet spot for gaming, and you will have no issues with this RAM kit. Having 32 gigs of RAM is ideal if you want to do gaming but also content creation and productivity work on the side or streaming, so big thumbs up. Then I went with a 1TB Gen 4 SSD, and this is more personal preference. You can spend a bit more if you want and go with 2TB, but what I do recommend you doing here is that if you don't want to download a bunch of titles at the same time that are very high demanding in terms of storage, just go with 1TB. Down the line you can can always upgrade with another storage kit. So if later on you run out of storage, you can just buy another kit of 1 or 2 terabytes more. But of course, if you know you are going to be downloading a bunch of titles, just go with 2 terabytes instead of 1 terabyte. It's going to be about $50 more expensive. For the case, I went with the Bitfinex Nova Mesh Micro ATX case. This one is great. It's only $55. It has 3 pre-installed fans, RGB by the way. I think that this case looks pretty good. If you do not like this case, I will leave some alternatives down in the video description, but I do think that it's pretty nice, and the most important thing is the airflow, and the airflow here is top tier for the price. And remember, we are talking about the best price to performance system with the RTX 4070 Super, and every component not bottlenecking your NVIDIA graphics card. However, let me give you a tip. If you decide to go with another case, just make sure that you have pre-installed fans, because otherwise it can get quite expensive as you add more fans, and also is more work for you to do when you have to build the system, because these are pre-installed. And last but not least, we have the power supply. I went with the NZXT C750. This is a 750 watt power supply, A tier rated, so the best quality out there, fully modular, so you can change all the cables that you want. And right now it's going on a discount, so it used to be around $100, but right now it's $80, so amazing price at the moment. In my opinion, one of the best value power supplies out there. And with this power supply, you are making sure that your PC will not explode or anything like that, and also it fits the wattage requirements. You do not need 750 watts for this, so if down the line you want to upgrade your graphics card or your CPU, most likely this power supply will be enough. Now let's talk about the price. Before doing that, I want to say that if you found valuable information throughout this video, leave a like and subscribe. It's going to help the channel grow a lot. The price for this one is $1,226. If you want a cheaper option, you can just not buy the aftermarket CPU cooler and stick to the stock one, which as I said before is free, and in that case the total price will be around $1,200. And if you want even something cheaper, well, I do recommend you getting the Ryzen 5 7500F CPU that you can get through AliExpress only. So if you are willing to buy from AliExpress, which by the way, there's nothing wrong with buying from there, it's not a scam or anything like that. The 7500F is basically very similar in terms of performance compared to the Ryzen 5 7600, and it's going for around $142 on AliExpress, but it doesn't come with the stock cooler, so you have to add $18 more for the aftermarket cooler that I talked about today. The total price for the system, if you go with the 7500F and the aftermarket CPU cooler, will be $1,170, so it's quite cheaper compared to $1,220 from the 7600 with the stock cooler, and you are getting essentially the same level of gaming performance. And if you want even something cheaper, well then I do recommend you considering buying from AMD and getting the RX 7900G RE, which is very similar in terms of gaming performance compared to the RTX 4070 Super, and it has more VRAM. It has 16 gigs of VRAM, which can be beneficial depending on the games that you play and depending on the resolution. The only thing that you lose here is the NVIDIA feature set, so if you wanted to turn on ray tracing or you wanted DLSS, because usually it works better than FSR, especially at 1440p resolution or 1080p for that matter, then AMD might not be the right GPU for you. Or if you click this video just because you want to buy the NVIDIA graphics card, then this is not a viable option. But if you do go with the 7900G RE, the price will be around $1,110. And in terms of rasterized gaming performance, both the 4070 Super and 7900G RE go head to head, and you will be happy with the level of performance at 1440p with any of these GPUs regardless. Now, if you have a completely different budget, let's say you have $1,500 or $2,000, I do recommend you watching my video on the best gaming PC builds for every budget and every resolution. The link to that video will be in the top right of the screen and in the video description alongside my personal PC help, in case you want me to help you out find the perfect PC for your budget and your needs. It doesn't matter if you want a pre-built PC, a laptop, or a PC build, I help you out no matter what, so go ahead and check it out. And remember that the latest pricing and availability for every component mentioned today will be down in the description as well. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for support, and I will see you on the next one.